Morning. It's Sunday, October 22nd, and something truly historic happened just the other day. An influential, powerful Saudi prince has issued a strong condemnation of Hamas in a rare rebuke from one of the Middle East's main power brokers. Prince Turku al-Faisal, the former Saudi ambassador to the UK and the US, said he preferred civil insurrection and disobedience to the murderous tactics employed by the Palestinian terror group. So this influential Saudi prince has gone on record condemning Hamas for their actions. They're not totally 100% condemning the Hamas for their actions, because he did add a sentence or two about Israel's reaction to the problem. So while he categorically condemned Hamas targeting of civilian targets of any age and gender, he also mentioned that he equally condemned Israel's indiscriminate bombing of Palestinian innocent civilians in Gaza and the attempts to drive them forcibly into the side. And he cited Israel's recent bombardment of the enclave and the order for its residents to flee southwards towards Egypt ahead of the expected ground offense. So while he did condemn Hamas, he did say something about Israel too, and I think he took what I would have to consider a reasonable approach, because the mere fact that a high-level Saudi prince, a man of international reputation, came out and said that Hamas was an evil organization, basically, is a minor step in the right direction. And then there were others in the Arab world who agreed with him. And one of the things a major news commentator from Saudi Arabia mentioned, that Joe Biden was a true leader, that he had shown the world what true leaders do, and that all of these other people, the Prime Minister Sunak of Britain and other world leaders, have just jumped on the bandwagon behind Biden. They have said nothing new, and this newscaster gave Biden a tremendous amount of credit for going into the war zone, going to Israel, meeting with people, and attempting to offer a peaceful solution that satisfies both sides. And he did this while also condemning Hamas. But he was there on a mission to save the lives of innocent Palestinian civilians, people who were caught in the middle of this terrible war. That was his feeling about Biden's mission. Gave Biden a lot of credit for going over there in the middle of a war zone, because as far as anybody knows, there are very few presidents and leaders of nations that run into war zones. So it was encouraging to see that Joe Biden is viewed differently in other parts of the world, as opposed to the way that many U.S. citizens view him. And I myself must admit that I have given him some bad reviews from time to time. Now, we all know that Israel and Saudi Arabia have been talking, and the Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman has indicated that even though this incident has occurred, Riyadh may still be amenable to a historic normalization deal with Israel, even though the talks are on hold right now during this current war. So it may very well be that that is some additional pressure that Israel has to deal with. Because if they make a major misstep in their military situation and they kill too many innocent people and they don't rid the world of Hamas, the chances of them making a deal to normalize the region could be gone. So the Crown Prince said that his kingdom is opposed to any form of civilian targeting and loss of innocent lives. So that's something that Israel has to keep in the back of their mind if they want to move forward with some normalization deal. So bin Salman is sitting on like the edge of a razor blade because he staked his reputation and his name on a major economic transformation, a vision for the future of his own country and of the Middle East, which would revamp the region and support political stability. Now, I don't know what that really means in their minds, because I think there are cultural things that will be extremely difficult for them to overcome in the short term. The way they treat women, etc. Things like that are ingrained in their personalities. And I don't know that they can rid themselves of that very quickly, even if they make a great economic stride forward. But in any event, these plans are put on hold because there has to be a resumption of relationships between Riyadh and its rival Iran, because Iran is in back of this entire thing. Hamas is an arm of Iran. And so in order to get normalization in the region, one has to deal with Iran, because Iran is the primary supporter of not only Hamas, but Hezbollah and other terrorist groups. So you are looking not at a minuscule little entity, and I don't consider Hamas a minuscule little entity, but in the big scheme of things, they are a small part, because there's Hezbollah, and there's ISIS. There are many other groups in the region that could easily fill Hamas's shoes. And most of those groups are supported by Iran. So unless the world comes to grips with the fact that Iran is a major contributor to the insanity that runs through that region, we won't get anywhere. There will not be any peace just by eliminating Hamas. Because I am sure that if that happens, then Iran will just strengthen Hezbollah or one of their other groups to fill Hamas's shoes. So I think the big problem in this region is not Hamas necessarily, although cutting off it would be a great deal. To get rid of it would be a great deal. The big problem is Iran. That is who the world has to go after. These arms, these terrorist arms, are just an expression of the hatred that exists from Iran to the rest of the world. So that's the big picture, the very big picture, and we cannot lose sight of that. So I leave you with that this morning, a possible different perspective on the whole situation. Take care. Bye.
Thank you.